TNA or Impact Wrestling as a promotion has been through a lot over the past few years. Whether it's wrestlers leaving the company or problems behind the scenes, the promotion has faced its fair share of flack over the years, but there's no denying that TNA has had some undeniably popular stars who did wonders for their programming and were staples in their weekly shows. Some of those performers chose to jump ship and are now wrestling for other promotions, while others have hung up their boots entirely. So let's not beat around the bush any longer and check out 10 popular TNA wrestlers and where they are now. The man known as EC3 started off his career with a dreadful run in WWE's developmental system before going on an equally forgettable run in NXT as Derek Bateman. Carter cut his losses in 2013 and headed to TNA Impact Wrestling, where he made an immediate impression. EC3 was booked as Dixie Carter's nephew, wrestling in a number of meaningless matches against faceless jobbers before moving up the card. The shtick could have gotten boring very quickly, but EC3 took what he was given and ran with it, turning everything he touched into gold. He left TNA earlier this year and returned to WWE not as a green rookie but as a former Impact World Champion and Impact Grand Champion. He's back in NXT now and is mixing it up with the likes of Johnny Gargano and Velveteen Dream. James Storm, known as the Cowboy, is a TNA original. He debuted for the promotion on the first ever TNA show on June 19th in 2002, and even though he had a singles run, he is best remembered as a stalwart of TNA's tag team division. In fact, he is widely regarded as the best tag team specialist to ever have wrestled for TNA in their history. Storm remained as one company man for most of his career, primarily wrestling for TNA with brief stints on the independent scene as well as in WWE. However, on November 9th of 2017, Storm would announce his departure from TNA after serving the promotion brilliantly for 15 years. Since then, he has made an appearance at Defiant Wrestling before debuting for ICW on February 11th as a face. He is also going to be a part of an Amazon Prime series called Dojo Pro Wrestling, which is pretty damn cool. Jeff Jarrett is the reason that TNA exists. Jeff and his good old pa, Jerry Jarrett, founded TNA back in 2002 before quickly aligning it with the NWA. Most of the world's biggest superstars either wrestled for WWE in 2002 or weren't interested in working in Jarrett's promotion, so Jarrett did the only thing he could do. He built the entire product around himself. In the first 4 years of TNA's existence, Jarrett became a 6-time NWA World Champion. Now, his arguably inflated sense of self-worth probably had a lot to do with his booking, but there's no denying that Jeff had a number of great matches against the likes of Styles, Sting, Hardy, and not to mention his all-time great feud with Kurt Angle. Jarrett no longer has any ties with the company after being bought out and inducted into the TNA Hall of Fame in 2015, and as of 2018, is a proud member of the WWE Hall of Fame as well. Bobby Roode has always shown the potential for greatness. He debuted for TNA back in 2004 as a part of the faction Team Canada. After the faction broke up, he started calling himself TNA's hottest free agent and spent the next few years feuding with the likes of Booker T, Jeff Jarrett, and Sting. After that, he was thrown into a tag team with James Storm. Although it was seemingly random at first, the duo struck gold, winning the tag team titles on 5 occasions. Roode also held the tag team titles with Austin Aries and Eric Young, on the way to becoming a 2-time World Heavyweight Champion, which were some of the longest reigns in the company's history. He ended his tenure with TNA in 2016 after 12 years and joined WWE. He was pushed as the biggest star on NXT before he debuted on the main roster, where he's mainly been a mid-card act on both Raw and SmackDown Live, so not so glorious. Austin Aries has had a bit of an on-again, off-again relationship with TNA over the last 13 years or so. In his first run with the company back in 2005, he mostly wrestled against and alongside Roderick Strong before leaving the company in 2006 because he chose to miss TNA's show in favor of an ROH show. He found his way back in 2007 under the name Austin Starr before leaving again that same year due to attitude problems. He wrestled for Ring of Honor and Dragon Gate USA before returning to TNA in 2011 and winning the X Division title multiple times, along with a World Championship win and a Tag Team title win alongside Bobby Roode. Aries left TNA again to wrestle for WWE in NXT and 205 Live, and when that went nowhere, he would return to TNA once more in 2018, where he has won the Impact World title 2 more times and is an Impact Grand Champion. Let's see how long he sticks around this time. Kim isn't the only wrestler on this list to have had multiple stints with TNA over the course of their career. After being released from the WWE after a 2-year run with the company in November of 2004, Kim made her debut for TNA in October of 2005, aligning herself with Jeff Jarrett and taking on the role of his manager. She had to wait 2 years for her first title win as she became the TNA Women's Knockout Champion in October of 2007 before leaving the promotion in August of 2008 after her contract expired. She returned to WWE for 3 years, but her stint ended on a sour note, as she's vowed never to re-sign with the company and has also said she won't appear for WWE's Evolution event. After returning to TNA, Kim went on to have an illustrious career, winning the TNA Women's Knockout title a total of 7 times. At the age of 41, she has hung up her boots and works backstage for Impact Wrestling as one of the show's producers. Samoa Joe was given a monster push in TNA in 2005. The Submission Machine went on an 18-month undefeated streak in one-on-one action that found him winning the X Division title 5 times, the tag team titles twice, in addition to a run with the World Heavyweight title. Joe had some of his best matches in TNA, though his best was his heavyweight title match against Kurt Angle at Lockdown in 2008. He wrestled against greats such as AJ Styles and Sting before leaving the company to have a brief run with Ring of Honor before joining WWE in NXT, where he became the first ever 2-time NXT champion. After debuting on the main roster, Joe has regularly been at the forefront of WWE programming, with his momentum only being stalled by untimely injuries. He's faced off against Brock Lesnar for the Universal title in the past and is now slated to face AJ Styles for the WWE title at SummerSlam, in what will definitely be one of the marquee matches of the night. Fans around the world were shocked when WWE announced that they were parting ways with the Olympic gold medalist Kurt Angle. They were even more shocked when TNA announced that Angle would be joining the company at No Surrender 2006. Angle went on to have a historic run in the company as he joined TNA programming by being a part of a red-hot feud with Samoa Joe, which included some of the best matches in the company's history. Angle would go on to become the inaugural TNA World Heavyweight Champion at Slammiversary 2007 and eventually became a 6-time TNA World Champ. Angle was the second inductee into the TNA Hall of Fame before parting ways with the company in 2016. He returned to the promotion he had left a decade earlier, and while he does step into the ring occasionally, he has settled in nicely into the role of GM of Raw. In possibly one of the most iconic returns to pro wrestling, the legendary WCW icon Sting came out of semi-retirement to join TNA on a full-time basis in 2005. He had a great 9-year run with the promotion where he won the NWA World title, TNA World title on 4 occasions, in addition to winning the tag team titles. He had arguably the best match of his career against Kurt Angle in 2007 and added to his already impressive legacy by having fantastic matches against the likes of AJ Styles, Samoa Joe, and Christian. He was the inaugural inductee into the TNA Hall of Fame in 2012, and after leaving the company in 2014, he signed a Legends deal with WWE, which saw him face the likes of Triple H and Seth Rollins. His match with Rollins would be his last, as injury would force him to retire and be inducted into the Hall of Fame class of 2016. It had to be him at number 1. AJ Styles was to TNA what Sting was to WCW. When AJ Styles debuted for TNA, it wasn't just the first show, it was TNA's first match. Styles won literally everything there was to win in TNA and was the sole reason people considered for a brief period that TNA might be able to compete with WWE. He wrestled the greatest match in TNA history alongside Samoa Joe and Christopher Daniels in 2005 and had fantastic matches with Sting, Kurt Angle, Jeff Jarrett, and so many others. He was simply phenomenal for the company, and after leaving TNA in 2013, he spent a few years on the indie scene before finally debuting for WWE on January 24, 2016 at the Royal Rumble pay-per-view to a thunderous ovation. Since then, he's just had too many amazing matches to count and is on his second run as WWE Champion. The man is just too good. And these were 10 popular TNA wrestlers and where they are now. I hope you're all having an amazing day. Thank you so much for watching Wrestling Hub, and I'll see you later with more wrestling videos.